Ladies and gentlemen, homelessness among the elderly worsens across America. So, what is the big culprit? Rent. We know rent has gone through the roof, and if you are an old person on a fixed income and rent is going up, then chances are you're going to be struggling to pay rent if you can even pay it at all. And that is the big reason for homelessness on the streets that's growing in cities. And many of them said they're trying to work things out with their landlords, but to no avail. So, where are they going to go? What are they going to do, at this point? And sometimes it's very difficult taking care of older people, especially if they come with a lot of health problems, which many do. So, older people around the country who are on the verge of homelessness or now living on the streets after falling on hard times, homeless shelters and aging services groups in numerous cities say they are seeing more elderly people in desperate need of housing than in years past. A confluence of factors are driving the increase, they said: soaring rents, a nationwide shortage of affordable housing, and winding down the pandemic related aid programs. And, like the federal eviction moratorium, that has been long gone in many states. And they just don't have that to offer people anymore. So, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it's hard to see this kind of stuff. It really is. So, the problem is acute in places like Boise, Idaho. Typical rents have risen to $1,778 from $1,213 in January 2019. So, the single family price have skyrocketed to $525 for a single family home. And around the same time period a year ago, they were $316,099. Wow. So during the pandemic, 9 assisted living facilities in the Idaho area had shut down due to staffing shortages or financial troubles. This is according to Idaho Healthcare Association, compounding with the need for elderly housing. So, they said right now, this is probably the biggest crisis going on in many states across the country. Because if they're living on the streets, they said some of these people are in wheelchairs. They can't use the bathroom or shower on their own. They have chronic health issues. Many of them are being flung out on the streets, and that's due to evictions. Mm-mm-mm. So now hospitals are even saying that when they discharge these patients, they know a lot of times they're homeless and elderly, and they have to wait until they're medically stable before they release them back to the streets. Mm, mm, mm. So, I mean, I don't know how this can be a long term thing in America. I really don't. I don't know. So, Interfaith has been using 2 floors of a hotel as an emergency homeless shelter for families and the elderly. And they said this is being funded by FEMA and county and grant dollars. Wow. So another elderly woman, Mrs. Peterson, she and her daughter were informed about the shelter that her father had been kicked out of. He got kicked out of assistant living facility during the pandemic. They closed. So you figure a lot of times that's why the elderly people, they give up their homes and they go to assistant living because they have a roof over their head and they have nursing there, and they have a lot of times they have all kinds of things like the gym and stores and stuff like that in there, so they can continue on living until they just can't no more. But wow, how do you pay for assistant living? You would think they would try to relocate these people somewhere else. After all, they paid, right? And they get, moved out from their facility onto the streets. Mm, mm, mm. Wow. Mm, mm, mm. I mean, just looking at this kind of stuff, I never thought it would be this bad, but it is that bad. But homelessness have always been a problem in this country. You know, this is nothing new, but now it is getting really bad among these old people. I don't see how they can't do anything for them, but they don't do very much for the average person that is homeless and struggling out here. Y'all, like many people, I had family that worked in nursing homes, and they told me sometimes these people are placed in there and they never even get a visitor. No family, no friend, nobody comes to visit them, you know? And it's not unusual for them to have family, but their family lives in a whole different state. So they rarely see their children or grandchildren once they're in these nursing homes. So, according to the National Healthcare for Homeless Council, which operates 300 healthcare programs for the homeless across America, the portion of its patients are 50 and over, which has been an uptick of people in that age range. And from 25% in 2008 to 36% last year. A portion of the patients are 65 and older, has nearly tripled during that time period, and 3% to 8%. The pandemic has only amplified the challenges. This is a problem of that we have never seen before. We are seeing older people in shelters, encampments, or who are living in their cars at a rate we never seen before. At Senior Support Services in Denver, a nonprofit that help low-income seniors find housing, food, and medical services, the number of elderly people signing up to receive case management services have tripled this year. In Boston, the group Hearth Inc., which aids elderly homeless, said that it has noticed a rise in newly homeless clients in addition to those who are chronically homeless. Well, in Boise, they said most of the people that are evicted or facing eviction are low income, and has also noticed an uptick in its elderly clients over the past 2 years, according to Director Ali Rabe. Wow. So, y'all, I guess if some of them are fortunate enough, maybe they can find family that can take them in, but this looks bad. America, this is another black eye for you. That's for sure. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this story. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.